So, I don't really look back at high school with a lot of fond memories. I definitely, would say that I probably had more bad memories than good when it comes to high school. But there's definitely a select few that I look back on and I laugh at, and I'm like, that was a pretty good one. And today's story time is about one of those memories. And I was reading comments the other day on my video from like 2 days ago, I think. And this one kid was like, yo, you got any stories that like have vapes involved in them? Because I've told like a couple of those. There's not a lot. And I do actually. And it's funny because this one's one of my favorite high school stories ever just because it's so funny. And I hope you enjoy it. Leave a like on the video if you do, and let's get into it. So today's story time takes place towards the end of 10th grade. Now at this point, I was pretty much in the process of leaving school, but I was still going on and off to try and like finish it at the same time. I didn't really know what I wanted to do yet, so I was definitely in a weird like middle ground. And around this time, the Juul was getting popular, and like vapes in general were getting pretty popular. I personally didn't really use one. I had like a box mod and I did have a Juul at one point, but I didn't really use either of them a whole lot just because like I wasn't ever really addicted to nicotine. Anytime I would use it and it had like nicotine juice in it, I for some reason never got hooked, which is honestly great because I see friends of mine now that did get super addicted to nicotine and they're hitting their vape every like 5 minutes, and I'm glad that I don't do that because that'd be really annoying to deal with. But anyway, yeah, at this time, a lot of kids in my high school had box mods and like the Juul and stuff, and it was getting pretty popular. It got to the point where kids started bringing them to school, and my school was getting like mad about it. They were like putting announcements on every morning being like, hey, if you bring a vape, it will be confiscated. Don't bring your vape. And a lot of kids didn't listen to that. They just kept bringing it in because, the vape life never takes a day off. So this starts off like any other day in 10th grade. I got up very late in the morning. It was like 15 minutes before my bus was going to get there. So I took the world's fastest shower and brushed my teeth, skipped breakfast, jumped on the bus, went to school, got to school, went to my locker, and I'm just standing there at my locker getting books out of it, putting books in it, just getting ready for the day, right? And from far down the hallway, I hear, yo, Austin, you're a pussy. And I look down the hallway, and it's my good friend Ethan coming towards my locker. And I guess just while he was on the way, he felt like trolling me, so he yelled out to the entire hallway of people that I'm a pussy. So Ethan comes up to my locker, and he's like, good morning, dude. And I was like, what's up, man? How you doing? He's like, good. How about you? And I'm like, great. That's a lie. I feel like shit. He's like, yeah, tired? I was like, yeah, dude, I don't want to be here. He's like, that makes all of us. And we're like making small talk. I was like, you doing anything fun yesterday? He's like, nah, dude, I sat on my ass and played COD. How about you? I was like, yep, same here. And then he's like, oh, wait, I did do one thing that was pretty cool yesterday. And I was like, yeah? He's like, bro, I got a new vape. I'm like, oh, you got a new vape, huh? He's like, yeah, you want to see it? I'm like, you brought it? He's like, yeah. And he unzips his backpack and like takes out this ginormous fucking box mod, dude. I thought it was a flashlight at first because the way it was shaped and how big it was. And I was like, bro, that's a vape? He's like, I know, right? Isn't it huge? I'm like, yeah, dude, talk about discreet. He's like, I know, bro, this thing blows fat fucking clouds. And that was the term back then. People would be like, yeah, I'm blowing fat fucking clouds. I look back on it and I'm like, dude, cringe. But yeah, he's talking about how it blows the fattest clouds ever. And I'm like, cool, dude. Well, you'll have to show me when school's out or something. He's like, yeah, man, I will. So me and Ethan both had first period together on this day. So after we were done hanging out at my locker, we both headed to first period together. And we sat together. So we sat in the back of the room. It was like the back left corner. And class started like any other day. And the teacher I had in my first period class, he was usually such a cool dude. Like, I can't lie, probably one of like the top 3 chillest teachers I've ever had. And for some reason on this day, he just came in like an off mood. He just seemed very irritated, very agitated, just like didn't want to be a teacher on this day, it seemed like. He came in and just kind of was like, all right, flip to this page, start reading. Just very like not fun at all. And usually this guy would come in and be like, hey guys, like how's everyone doing? How was yesterday? Like you get your homework done? Oh, you didn't? That's okay. Like he was a cool dude, right? And yeah, like I said, on this day he just seemed very not in the mood. And the teacher is just sitting at his desk, right? And it's quiet in the room and everyone's reading. And Ethan looks over at me and he whispers and he goes, yo, can you watch my back while I take a vape hit? I'm like, dude, really? Like right now you're gonna hit the vape? Like it's the middle of class. He's like, I know, but like, bro, I'm fiending. And I was like, all right, dude, fine. So I like watch the teacher, right, to make sure he's not looking at us. And Ethan like grabs his backpack and like slowly starts unzipping it. And he takes out his ginormous fucking flashlight looking thing of a vape. And he gets it out of his backpack finally. And he slowly starts hitting it. And you can hear it crackling. And like the room was silent. So like other people could definitely hear this. And he wasn't hitting it quietly enough because the teacher heard it. And the teacher looks up and sees him hitting it and goes, "Ethan, what the hell are you doing?" And Ethan immediately drops the vape in his bag, thinking like the teacher wouldn't see. And the teacher goes, "Ethan, you want to explain what I just saw?" And Ethan won't talk because he has a mouthful of vape. And the teacher knows this. And he's like, "Why won't you talk, Ethan?" And Ethan's not even breathing, bro. He's sitting there like fucking holding his breath, not talking because he knows if he breathes out or if he talks, a bunch of fucking cloud is just going to pour out. And he couldn't hold it in any longer. Ethan started to cough. And he coughed out just a ginormous puff of vape all over the goddamn class. Let me say though, Ethan was not lying earlier in the day. That was probably one of the biggest like vape hits I've ever seen. Like the amount of vape that filled this damn room, it was quite a big cloud of vape to say the least, right? And of course, everybody in the whole classroom starts dying laughing because Ethan's an idiot. And the teacher, like I said, on this day, was just not having it. The teacher proceeds to walk over to the table and goes, "Hand me your vape." And Ethan goes, "No, it's mine. I paid for it." And the teacher goes, "I don't care. You're not allowed to have it in school. Do you not hear the morning announcements? Like, you can't have a vape here." And Ethan's like, "No, dude, it's my property. You can't have it." And the teacher goes, "Give it to me now or I'm going to throw it out the window." And I was like, damn. And Ethan's like, "No, you won't. You can't do that. That's not allowed." And I shit you not, bro. This teacher grabs Ethan's backpack, unzips it, takes out the vape. Ethan tries to grab it and like tug a war with him over it. The teacher wins because the teacher was stronger. And the teacher proceeds to start walking over to the window. And I'm sitting there thinking like, yo, he's not about to do what I think he's about to do. Like, there's no way. Like, he's got to be bluffing, right? And Ethan's following the teacher to the window, right? He's like, "Give me it back. Give me the vape back." And the teacher proceeds to open the window, winds his arm back, and just launches Ethan's vape like a fucking baseball across the school parking lot all the way over to the soccer field. And like, we were on the second floor, our classroom. So like, this thing got some air. It was such an unbelievable moment that like everybody in the class like rushed over to the window to watch. It was ridiculous. And naturally, Ethan starts freaking out. And he's like, "What the fuck? Like, you owe me a new one? That cost like $80 fucking dollars." And he's freaking out, right? And the teacher's just standing there, not hearing a word of it. Like, he just doesn't give a shit. And the whole class is still like looking around at each other in disbelief of what just happened. And I'm sitting there just trying not to die laughing. Because as much as I liked Ethan and he was my homie, the fact that I just witnessed my first period class teacher throw his vape hundreds of feet all the way into the soccer field out the second floor window was pretty hilarious, I can't lie. So anyway, the teacher tells Ethan to sit back down, and Ethan's not having it. He's like, "Fuck that, I'll sit back down when you give me my $80. And the teacher goes, "I'm not giving you anything. If anything, I'll give you detention if you swear at me again, so watch your mouth." And Ethan's like, "Fuck that, you just wasted $80, like blah, 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 blah." And the teacher's like, "All right, go to the main office." And Ethan stomps out of the classroom and goes up to the main office. And don't get me wrong, okay? The teacher shouldn't have done that. I won't lie, all right? As much as it was hilarious, you shouldn't break other people's property. Like, even if they're breaking the rules and they shouldn't have had the vape in school, the teacher should have just confiscated it and, you know, like kept it in his desk till the end of the day and then called Ethan's parents, because that's what most teachers would do, right? So I did feel for Ethan in the sense that, like, it was technically not the right thing to do as a teacher, but also, like, dude, it was still just so fucking funny, I can't lie. I wish I had it on video, because this thing went so far. Like, honestly, I had half a mind to go up to my teacher after class and be like, "Hey, man, you should quit teaching and join the fucking MLB, because that arm is going to waste if you're just throwing vapes with it and not baseballs." But anyway, the rest of class was pretty quiet and normal. No one really wanted to step out of line and like piss the teacher off after this because, well, to be honest, I think nobody wanted to get their belongings thrown out the window, so yeah. But after class was over, I went out to Ethan's locker and I found him because he was there getting stuff out of his locker for next period. And I was like, "Yo, what happened?" He's like, "Nothing, bro. I went to the main office, told them what happened, and they like just didn't do shit about it. They just basically told me like, tough luck. I shouldn't have had my vape in school." And I was like, "Damn, maybe you could like tell your parents. Maybe they could help." And he's like, "Bro, my parents, if they find out that I had a vape, I'm done." And I was like, "Yeah, that's a good point." And he's like, "You want to know the best part? I got detention after school today because apparently my vape being thrown out the window wasn't enough." The principal started lecturing me about my grades and how I need to stay after in detention today and do work. And I was like, oh, damn. So not only did this kid get his vape launched out the window, he also had to go to detention after school. You're probably listening to this and being like, yo, Ethan is the most unlucky dude ever. Like, and I would agree with you, but the story doesn't end here. There's actually kind of a happy ending for Ethan. Well, happy depending on how you look at it. So after school that day, the bell rang, and I came out of my last period class, and I went to my locker, and Ethan came up to my locker, and he's like, yo, what's good? And I was like, what's up, man? He's like, what are you about to do for the rest of the day? And I was like, probably just go home, play COD, work on a YouTube video or something. He's like, shit, man, I'm jealous. And I was like, yeah, what are you about to do? Oh, wait, yeah, you got detention, my bad. He's like, yep, I got detention. Honestly, man, I might skip that shit. And I'm like, I don't know, man, if you skip it, they're just gonna give you another one, then you'll have two. And he's like, yeah, I know, but I really just don't feel like doing it today. I'll do it tomorrow instead. And he decides to skip detention, right? He just decides right then and there he's skipping. So he starts following me out to my bus because his bus parked right behind mine. And right as he's about to get on the bus, I see him take off running towards the soccer field. And I'm like, what the hell is this kid doing? And then it hits me. This dude's running out to the soccer field to try and find his vape and see if he can like salvage it and see if it's broken. And he's out there for like maybe a couple minutes, and it's getting kind of close to the time where the bus is about to leave. And I see him start running back, and he holds his arm up in the air and he holds up the vape. And he's like, I got it. And I was like, no way. And he runs up to me and he shows me. And dude, this thing was fine. The way the teacher threw it, it went so far, it went past the parking lot and it landed in the soccer field. So it just landed in grass and it didn't like break and it didn't mess it up. So I guess that was the perk of buying an $80 vape. In Ethan's case, it was very durable. And also I guess it was a perk that the teacher had such a good arm because it went completely over the parking lot. Because let me tell you, if that shit hit the parking lot from how high up it was, yeah, it would have exploded. So he's lucky the teacher got it over the parking lot. But yeah, guys, in the end, I guess Ethan had kind of a happy ending. He got his vape back. And yeah, moral of the story is, don't do what Ethan did in this story time. And if you're a teacher, though I doubt any teachers watch my videos, but if you are, and you're watching this, you probably shouldn't throw your students' stuff out the window, okay? As much as it was hilarious, you probably shouldn't do that. Just send him to the principal and have his parents get called or something. I don't know. But yeah, guys, that's the end of the story time. I hope you enjoyed it. I think it's hilarious. If you did, please leave a like on the video. I would really appreciate it. Feel free to leave your story times in the comments down below and subscribe if you're new. I will see you guys all later. Peace.